I'm just.
Please don't interrupt this song quite yet.
Okay.
This is like senior prom slow dance for me right now.
There used to be a gray tower alone on the sea.
Oh man! Finally, somebody knows one of mine.
I want to reinvent this.
Okay, I'll take the picture.
No, you.
No, it's not happening.
I don't think my legs could even bend like that.
No.
Like the nose almost to the knee.
Yeah, no.
Could you do that?
Yeah,
I bet this kid could do this.
100%.
It's not really a kid anymore. I'm
trying to understand how we're going to get to why he picked this song, because I feel like there's so many options for a young man, and then we go. I was like,
I didn't even go there.
Why is it?
I didn't even go there.
I think he probably wanted to make me feel good because he knows I never know the song. So he's like, what was something good in the 90s
that Lena would know?
Yes. And would take her back.
Solid.
Yes.
Solid. Today is January 21st.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Are you doing anything with your life this year? Like, are you on it?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm just trying to eat healthy.
Boom.
Yeah. And by this time, hopefully on the 21st, I know exactly what I'm allergic to. And we can tell everybody. I'll make a post about it because I know everyone's just here for it.
Yes. I'm sure it's legitimate.
But today, National Hugging Day.
That's going to happen after that.
That's probably what happens.
A lot of hugging. That's what that song's all about.
Why is he smirking
it's
like
just
that?
hugging.
Just
hug
hugging.
it out. Yep.
Squirrel Appreciation Day. I love a good squirrel.
You do?
Yeah. Especially on our campus. They're always like running around, and then I have stairs that are outside my window, and they always run up the stairs. I asked Darren once if I could put up a squirrel feeder.
And what did he say?
Sure. Not my problem, though. You're going to feel it.
Okay.
So if anybody, Santa didn't bring me that.
Squirrel feeder
outside my office window.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Rid the world of fad diets and gimmicks day.
I feel like that goes back to
very
your,
well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ice allergy thing. What? Fad diets are legitimately a waste of energy and time.
There's a big fad right now. We could talk about that, but we're not going to get into it.
There's so much money in it. Just
and International
moderation.
Sweatpants Day, which I'm really surprised our guest isn't wearing sweatpants or shorts.
Legitimately.
I've never seen him in denim.
And I bet those guys wear the shorter shorts that's in now.
Yes. This one especially wears those.
I know.
He works out. He wants people to see that he might have a leg day every other week.
Got it.
So that's why they wear them, right?
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So welcome to the mic, Ryan Malone.
Welcome back.
Also assistant baseball coach of the MCC Indian baseball team.
That's outstanding.
That's pretty impressive.
I did not know that.
Hi, Ryan.
So congratulations. Oops, sorry.
You're going to have to put that mic a little bit closer to your mouth. Ryan's been on here before.
Yes. That's why we're excited to have him back.
So excited.
In his new position.
Yeah. As an adult.
Yes.
In like big time things.
100%.
How cool that he's back here. Okay. I think that tells a little bit in itself.
That McCook does some things right, and people want to stick around.
People want to come back.
Yes.
Right, Ryan?
So far.
When did you come? When did you leave, and when did you come back? Let's just clean the slate for everybody.
Let's go to good timeline.
Mm-hmm. And
fast.
Go. Yep.
Well, I mean,
you said your goodbyes in May.
Yep. Graduated in May.
2024.
Headed out 2024 in May.
Never see him again.
Peace out. Lasted probably 3 months?
2.5?
2.5 months. And I was like, yeah, I'm never seeing this place again. I was like, I'm gone. And then all of a sudden I was back just like that.
Yeah. The exciting thing about this was this position came open, assistant baseball coach, my immediate thoughts were this guy. I said, what do we need to do to get him here?
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get on the phone right away, or did you have to talk to J.O.? Did you even think you needed to include J.O.?
J.O. and we had telepathy.
Got it.
We knew. Mm-hmm. I texted Ryan. Yes. Do you remember this?
I don't.
I do.
Oh.
Well, I texted you before your interview.
Well, before the interview,
Yeah, I was like, don't beep, 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 beep.
It up?
Up. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Uh-huh. I was like, make me proud.
Well, I feel like J.O. would already know all the good, the bads, and the uglies because he had him.
Yeah.
So a lot of that's
so
out there. Yeah.
I feel Ryan.
Hopefully not all of bad.
Yeah.
Small percentage.
Yeah.
Are you saying you wouldn't be here if you did? Is what
Yeah.
you're trying to say. Just kidding.
But yeah, so Ryan worked for me as a student ambassador. So I knew that he could step up to the plate and immediately, even though that was a quick turnaround, graduating in May. He was a super sophomore, so he was here for ever 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a COVID year?
No, I just had two red shirts.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wait, weren't you here during COVID?
no, I came the year after.
After? Okay.
Yeah.
We are far enough like, I don't know when we don't say that word anymore. I would feel like coming soon, but yeah, I don't know. We don't think it was closer. Anyways, so you're back. Do you have to live in the dorms, or do you have a house?
Unfortunately, I do have to live in the dorms.
Oh, for how long? Like, is that part of your job?
Yeah. I think, the way it was put, I had to be in the dorms to do my job. So, kicking in the dorms, obviously I'd rather be in a house and,
if you say it loud enough for somebody, they might hear this.
Maybe, you know what I'm
saying? They might listen to this episode. Who knows?
But we'll see. I mean, there might be some open houses here and there the next, if I come back next year. So
yes, true story.
If you come back, like right now, what is your like heart saying?
Well, no, I'm planning on coming back, but you never know.
Right.
Like, I don't like to,
Do you think it was tough to transition as a student straight to a coach?
Well, I think it was kind of weird. I think for most people it would be kind of tough, but I guess I don't really see people as like positions. I more just see them as people. So like now that I'm the coach, it's like, oh, well, these are just
your athletes,
my players.
Yeah.
And it's not really like a dynamic where it's like, oh, I was a teammate with you the year before. Now I'm your coach. And that's just how it's going to be.
Honestly, I think it'd be very hard for a female, very hard, but I think you did a very good job of doing that. Like
so far.
Don't mess up.
Well, I think it's different because we had
like you can see it when you see him with his team.
Right. Well, I mean, we had a guest on earlier who an example somebody looked up to is him, is who's in the room with us right now. And so knowing that he was always the one putting in the work, putting in the time, it's going to be different if you're not that guy.
Oh yeah. Cause Dad said he looked up to this kid.
And so it's like, if you're not putting the time in and you're just kind of like barely hanging on, I think it'd be hard for your team to respect you.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was one thing when you took this job that you're like, I want to do this differently, or this is what I want to bring to the plate for MCC baseball?
Well, I guess I'm just kind of a guy of ambition, and like playing here, I kind of just every once in a while just kind of sit and be like, you know what, I kind of want to be the one that's going to build this place up and like make them good. You know what I'm saying? Like we are good, but like I want to be like great. Like I want to go win like not only do I want to win the region, like years down the road, I want to win a national championship, just fun stuff like that, and like, I feel like it's stuff that's all attainable. It's just going to take time. But I think I just kind of wanted to have the ambition to go in and do it. And at the same time, like when I was a player, I feel like we had started to have really good team chemistry as the years went along. And I feel like just continuing to understand that my role, right? Like just cause I'm your coach doesn't mean I can't necessarily be your friend, you know what I'm saying? And connect with you and get to know you outside of baseball as well. And I feel like that can help contribute as well to all right, this guy can bring something different, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Cause you get to know who they are as a person.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess I didn't going back, you're the assistant baseball coach, but what do you your specialty is? Like
my other job?
Your job in baseball. What do you coach?
Pitchers. I'm the pit. Yeah. I'll be technically the pitching coach / assistant coach. Yeah. So I kind of deal with all the pitchers, and
I feel like that would be more stressful than the other job. You know what I'm saying? So if you had a head baseball coach and an assistant baseball coach, I feel as if the head coach would be the pitching coach. Maybe. I don't know. Cause I feel that's a very important
coach.
Really? The head coaches are?
Yeah. Usually they bring in someone for pitchers. Yeah.
Pitching just seems so stressful. So when with that, I just have so many questions. Game day.
Yeah.
Who decides who's pitching?
I mean, it's a collective, it's more of a back and forth, but kind of the funny part is me playing here for so long. I kind of know what he wants to a certain extent too, to where usually we're kind of just on the same page. We'll kind of just be this is the number one. Yeah. This is the number two. Yeah. This is number three.
So you guys, you have it.
Yeah. For the most part. Yeah. Very rarely is it kind of he likes this guy and I don't, or I like this guy and he doesn't. Usually it's pretty mutual. So
is that the way it was when you were pitching and not the coach?
In terms of
the
yeah, to an extent, there's times where he'll kind of just be I want to see this, this guy's going in, and you'll just be all right. There was times I think in the past where there's been some disagreements with other pitching coaches, nothing crazy, but just your normal, stuff. And I mean, it'll happen. It's kind of inevitable, but I guess necessarily throughout the fall, at least our fall, it hasn't happened yet. It's more just been all right, this is a guy that we want to see. And so it hasn't really been split yet.
Right.
So your season kicks off mid-Feb?
February 6th, I believe, is the first game.
I don't know why I said Feb. Please never let me say that again.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
February.
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay. And you guys, you usually go south, but you're not going to Texas this year, right?
No. Texas kind of has the
bad weather.
bad spot in our, apparently. Like last year, we were supposed to play, I think, like 7 or 8 games down there, and we only got 2 in. And like, it's just kind of like we would go down there and it would rain every time. And it's kind of like, this is a waste. You know what I'm saying?
Might as well play up here in the snow.
Right. Well, hopefully not the snow, but
Can you play in snow?
no.
The year
We
before,
tried.
what year? 2023, it snowed forever here.
Yeah. Like it was snowing in like April.
Yeah.
But
I know
Because
when-
I know once the snow stops and you guys move outside, which is really nice.
I think that's one thing that is maybe different for you to appreciate as coming from an indoor sport. I don't understand how you mentally prepare for the weather in like softball and baseball. I just don't. I don't get it.
That's because I'd be so concerned about all my extremities. I couldn't even focus on the game. I'd complain the whole time.
Well, it starts out like at 40 degrees, and then next thing you know, it's like 92 all in the same day. And you're like,
I couldn't do that.
What the pajamas?
And you're trying to
I don't
like
get it.
peel off your turtleneck because it was so cold.
Yeah.
No, even me when I went and watched a fall game. Hope everyone
there.
saw me watch that game. Me, Vic, and Evie. It was
Oh,
freezing.
Yeah. It was very
So
cold.
cold.
that day.
Yeah. But I went out there just to make sure that they knew I was out there.
I had baseball boys like for 2 years, and I was like, I can't do this.
It's hard.
It's not a nice 85 with no wind. It's either the wind is blowing 70 miles an hour and it's hot, or it's freezing and the wind is also blowing 70 miles an hour. I don't get it. Especially as a pitcher.
how do you
Really-
work with
there really
Yes.
is no preparing for it. Like
Yeah.
you can tell people, you know, because there's some guys like it'll be like 50 this fall, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's a little chilly outside." And I'm like, "You just wait. Like it's gonna
This
get
is
a lot worse
nothing.
than this." Like
Yeah.
there really is no preparing. Like you can wear as much cold weather gear as you want, and it's still like you're gonna be freezing either way.
So for you played at McCook.
Yeah.
Do you ever look to see who's come to watch? Does that make a difference to you?
Like fans.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think there's times where there have been like no fans in the stands, and like there's just almost like a different kind of energy you get. Like I want to say like, and it comes when it's like 50 people, you know, like when actually like people start showing out, and then you're kind of like a little buzz, you know, and then there's a little more energy and kind of builds off of it. Like something good happens and they cheer, you know, stuff like that. And then there's the flip side when there's no one there. And if it's cold and, you know, stuff like that, like really just saps the energy right out of you.
Right. I think that's one reason. Maybe it was Ryan. I don't know, or a baseball student that I had worked with in the past. They mentioned that nobody ever comes to their games. So now I try to go.
Oh, that's so good.
Just to be, hi, look at me here, cheering y'all on.
Well, I get it. I mean, if it's like 40 degrees outside, no one really wants to go.
Right.
But there's like,
But
if
then
it starts
still.
to get nice
Yeah,
outside,
come on.
I mean,
And I
don't want to
also
call people out, but it'd be nice to get some fans
I
out
like
there.
to see the players because I meet with each student and I always ask them questions like, who do you think the best teammate is? And I like to ask that question. Then I go watch the game and I'm like, that's the kid they were talking about. So
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's my job.
Who's somebody here that's been a good support system for you that you met as an athlete, not as a coach?
Like before I became a coach. And so, I mean, I feel like it's funny. Mike Mendenhall, the softball coach, I think he's someone that like last year, like he always kind of, you know, even as a player, like we kind of got along. And now it's almost like he's almost, I want to say like taking me under his wing to a certain extent where like he gives me a lot of advice on like how to deal with certain situations and what to do here and there. And I really kind of enjoy like having someone like that can, you know, kind of like be on your side and help you out as you go along. So
Yeah.
Mike.
Is there anything about the community that's hard being like a young guy in McCook?
I feel like there's definitely not many people my age here that, well, it's funny because, well, like I am obviously like younger than most coaches. So like my age are students, but obviously I can't, you know what I mean? Like I can't engage with them. So like everybody else is either older or younger, and there's not really many people in the middle ground other than the assistant coaches that like I work with. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What's an athlete that you've enjoyed working with this fall semester that you're really looking forward to in the spring? Or you can say all of them. Or like one kid like this, he grew like because of the program that we put him through, or you felt?
I mean, there's definitely like, you know, I'm not really going to go out there and single out certain players. So I think
because they're probably all going to listen to this.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. But I think I just kind of always have a soft spot for guys fighting through injuries and, you know, trying to battle back. So I think we kind of got, I mean, unfortunately, one of our guys went down with an injury, but we got to Eli Dunphy and Miles Chaubby. They're both kind of, you know, they're both grinding back, trying to get back from serious injuries. And kind of the nice thing about them is that they work extremely hard. So like they're guys that you want to push for to see come back and be successful. And I got full confidence that both of them will. So I'm pretty excited to see when they're back at full force what it looks like. So
I've heard nothing but good things about this team. Do you feel good about it?
Definitely. I think there's definitely buzz in the air, you know, like it's kind of transitioning to kind of like we hope we win to like we expect to win. Like we need to go out there
really
and
cool.
take care of business because we have a really good team. So
what is the comparison per sport? So volleyball to basketball to baseball to the percent of injuries. Oof. Like it always just seems like, and this is just like I mean, have a softball player in the family, so I'm slowly learning about this, but it seems like baseball has a lot more overuse injuries than any, but that could be me just being naive. I don't know. So is that true?
Well, that's the big problem is kind of like knock on wood, but like we honestly, for the most part, like had a pretty healthy team this year in the grand scheme of things. Like obviously there's some guys that have gone down here and there, but usually like it can get bad sometimes, you know. I think the hardest part is because you're dealing so much more with like your joints and ligaments and those kind of small tune parts of your body, not necessarily just your bulk muscles, like football, basketball, stuff like that, right? Like you're more just like bulk muscle, but in baseball, you're kind of using those, you know, like your UCL and like obviously like all the, you know, when you throw, there's all those different pressure points on your joints and ligaments that like you can't do it as much as you want. You know what I'm saying? Like a football and like basketball and like you can kind of shoot those and throw those as much as you want because you're not necessarily using as much of it.
Right.
But like with baseball, you can only throw so much. And that's the problem, I think, with young kids, and I was there myself, is understanding that rest is just as important as training. So,
have you ever slowed down a pitching video?
I've had to see a lot of pitching videos in my life, and like, no offense, it's very hard for me to have a kid that pitches. It's just really hard to watch because it is one of the most. I've just never seen anything as demanding on one part of the body as pitching. Yeah. And so
and I think with like baseball pitching.
Oh my gosh. Here's me.
If you slow it, I'm like,
it makes me think of like a Barbie doll. You know how they have like that
so that's why I'm saying that photo
that sits in there. Like I feel like that's how the arm goes on a pitcher. Like on a Barbie, the way the ball that's in there, like the way her arm goes. I feel like to be a pitcher, that's what you have to do because it's like your arm isn't really.
It's not meant to go up there.
No, it's not meant to do. And, you know, people will argue all day long that softball's not as demanding as baseball. And I understand it's not as an organic, motion. But I feel like anything you do repetitively, I don't care, boy or girl, yowzes. Have you ever taken a pitch from a softball player?
Not seriously.
Yeah.
Like not actually like competitively, but I've always wanted to. I always felt like
let's make that. Let's do that.
I've always wanted to do a McCook baseball versus softball game because we got a lot of kids that are pretty cocky. They're like, hey, like we'll go out there and beat y'all. And I've always kind of wanted to actually see what would happen. Like, I mean, obviously,
I see that. I would pay to see that.
I would pay to see that.
You know,
that should happen.
That should be
a fundraiser.
That would be a really good fundraiser.
Yeah.
And have T-shirts made. Like seriously, this would be a good thing.
We should do that in the fall next year.
We should. Odds on, you know, I would.
Cobes will help you
hope
put
that
it
the
together.
softball would win.
I will take the tickets.
I mean, like it would be a cool thing to see. I mean, also though, I will never say that a woman can do everything a man can do. I'm not that person because I believe men are made to do things that women cannot do. But I would love to see the whole.
I just like any kind of competition between sports at the college.
Yeah,
because I feel as if everyone is very confident.
As they should.
Especially the baseball players.
And the volleyball players and softball and all the other ones. Like, put them together. I bet we all can probably compete pretty equal.
That would be fun. Yeah.
We're still competing.
Yeah. What are you competing in?
Workouts.
Well, it defines the workout. Like, personally, I'm not going to lie. If it's like weightlifting, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Boys will probably win.
but
If it's
there's
a
some
mental
things-
workout,
mental,
that's why I think if you
It'd be
did a
interesting.
mental workout,
Yeah.
I think it'd be very.
Oh, I thought you two were having a workout challenge, and I
No.
was really excited to see the results.
I mean,
on this.
I will cold plunge anybody.
I feel like there you go.
I don't know. Sometimes when it's time to lock in, like,
Your game
people
on.
just don't know their limits. You know, they can just push through them, and who knows? Maybe
I think he's the guy to challenge it. Let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man. What is one thing that you think the community, I mean, you kind of said a little bit, but I want to go a little more with people coming to the baseball games. But what's another thing the community of McCook could do to support baseball, college baseball?
I mean, that's kind of a hard question because I guess I don't necessarily know. Like, to support McCook baseball, I mean, you know, money always helps.
Okay,
I don't want to be that guy,
No,
but like,
no.
you know, like, I feel like in the world that we're living in now, like, money is kind of king in college about like getting the nicest facilities and the best recruits and the best living area and stuff like that. And so, I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, fundraising, you know, and we do fundraising every
Sure.
fall, but like, that's what honestly makes a difference to being able to like save up money to build new equipment and get new stuff. So.
all the things.
Very good.
And baseball has the largest team. Like the
I
largest
know when
team
he
on
said
campus.
40 before with the-
48 this year.
That's incredible to
Yeah.
me. So you're bringing a lot of students to McCook who are going to spend money in McCook, you know, eat at our restaurant, shop. Obviously they're going to school. So there's so much they're bringing to the community. Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, money's a fair statement. That's what will you guys have to do with or participate on the new facility? I mean, I know that's probably a ways out, but will
Like the new baseball field that's being
Yes,
built?
yeah.
Well, hopefully that's ready in like a year and a half to 2 years.
Okay.
That's kind of the hope.
I
Obviously,
don't ask questions on this because you asked the wrong person.
I mean, that's
yeah.
kind of where, yeah, like it'd be obviously a big difference maker. I mean, you have a turf field and it's really nice. It makes it a lot easier again to like bring in high quality recruits and like make them want to come play here. So I'm kind of excited for that to actually start happening because I think it can change things as well. So.
Yeah. And being a parent that travels to different fields and some that are turf and some that are not, it does make a huge difference. I mean,
Yeah.
with the rain delays and opportunity to get a play, it is a big deal for this sport, for baseball and softball. So yeah, it would be a great thing when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll only help the town grow too. I
Oh,
mean,
definitely.
youth tournaments, stuff like that. Like
Yes.
you just hope down the road that they keep building,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like keep adding on, bringing in new businesses.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
I don't know. I get on Facebook and I read people's comments and I just get so angry. One, of course, I'm biased. I want anything that will help the college. But then secondly, just the community. If they don't think a new field or new, like glitz and glam, as Ryan just said, money makes a difference. But do you think I could get 12 teams to come to a gym that look like
The old gym.
the old gym?
I've seen,
I mean, we park cars in there. I've seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, it was.
I couldn't get 12 teams to come to McCook to do that. And I don't think people realize like that brings a lot of money in. A lot
It's
of
going to
money.
pay for itself in the
yeah.
next couple of years.
Right,
Yeah.
You know,
Right, yeah.
and same thing, you have nicer fields, you have more tournaments, you're able to, then everyone's able to do more. Yeah. But then do we have people today that want to continue to do more? You know, that's I think another issue. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
We have people that want to like, let's bring some more stuff to the, to
Yeah.
McCook,
Yeah.
not the college.
Wowzers.
Who was your favorite teacher when you went to McCook?
I think the person, honestly, was probably Doug Kluat.
Yeah.
I think he gets a bad rap by a lot of people, just the way he teaches and kind of goes about things sometimes. But
Doug Kluwat's a history teacher.
yeah, he was a history teacher, but there was some about, I mean, he just kind of like took the time, honestly, kind of like I do with my, like he took the time to get to know me and kind of give me advice about like being successful as I, you know, continue on here. And I just felt like he was almost like he had my back, like as a teacher that kind of, you know, like he wanted me to be successful and he also was going to, you know, give me a chance, you know, to be successful. So I kind of felt like he always got a bad rap, but I always liked him. So
Who was your advisor?
Kosa.
Oh, yeah.
You bet. I have all the baseball players,
Oh, you do?
all of them.
By-
Besides some that don't like me, but
Oh.
just kidding.
it happens every now and then, you know? What was your favorite place to eat at in McCook?
I would say, I mean, I think the Copper Mill has the best food. I always like, you know, I think they have good steak and they kind of do some fun things every once in a while. Like there was one, I can't remember if it was like Easter or Mother's Day or something. They had some big buffet there that we went to. It was kind of cool. But I feel like maybe just for like a quick meal, one of the Mexican restaurants, probably like Tequila's or.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Was your family able to come out here very often while you were an athlete? I mean, like as a student athlete.
Yeah, they would come out honestly as much as they could, probably a couple times a year. Like they'd come out maybe once or twice to here. And then if we played in like Norfolk or Beatrice, where like some of our other schools are, like they would come out to those as well. And they're always pretty good at supporting. Like sometimes they gave, I mean, there was one time like they got 100 Cane's chicken fingers for the guys last year, and like they would get like Cliff Bars and stuff. So they were all like pretty good, supportive as well.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I do. I have one sister. She's going to be, well, she is a junior right now in high school. So she, that's the only sibling. Yeah.
That's it.
Does she play any sports?
Actually, no. She is more of a, I'm going to make money and set myself up to be ready for life.
Who's the favorite child?
To be honest, I would say it kind of sides like my mom, I think, has a soft spot for my sister. My dad has a soft spot for me. Like, I don't think there's necessarily a favorite child, but I think it's just kind of like those two kind of roll together.
Okay.
So
I'm with you.
That's awesome. That's funny too. I love that question.
I don't know, just like who's the favorite child in the Coble household? Oh, not
Obviously
that one. Obviously, not the oldest one. What is something that you learned from Olsen when you played for him that you kind of like instilled yourself as a coach? Like you want to make sure that like, you know what, he did this, I want to kind of do the same thing.
I think being prepared was one of the things that he kind of taught. Like it was kind of funny, but he always, you know, he still does, like he always has this notebook that he's writing in like on the baselines and in the dugout and stuff. Like everything that happens, he writes it down. And so kind of as a coach, I started to keep a notebook as well. And I feel like it actually helps you keep organized and kind of know like, all right, this is where this guy's at. This is where this guy's at. Like you can really keep track of like success, failure, what we need to work on, what we need to get better. So I think kind of just writing everything down and being like preparing things out months in ahead of what you want to do rather than just day by day. So.
Yeah. What resources do you use to gain knowledge as a coach?
I mean, a lot of it, I'm more of a face-to-face kind of guy.
Okay.
So like a lot of the stuff that I incorporate into my routines is stuff that I've either found success for myself from other coaches that have taught me. But I do, you know, from time, like I watch a lot of YouTube videos from, you know, pitching companies and stuff like that, or like firsthand stuff from like former Major League Baseball players and stuff. And a lot of it's kind of like what I found successful and like to keep guys healthy and growing and stuff like that. Then I'll implement it onto them. So
how much of pitching is personal style compared to like fundamentally learning it from, does that make sense?
Well, that's
like,
kind of the fun
I'm with you.
thing. Yeah. About pitching is that like, it's an individualistic thing,
Okay.
you know, like everybody throws differently.
Right.
And as a coach, you don't want them all to throw the same, you know, like you want them to throw their different ways, but there's certain cues like mechanically that they should be getting to, if that makes sense. Like they're all going to have different strides and arm angles and stuff like that. But there are certain cues to like throwing hard that like, whether it's like pelvic rotation and like being strong with your, you know, lead leg and stuff like that like you incorporate for all of them to do. But like their actual technique is very personal.
You know, that's kind of crazy because you think about that with like volleyball. All should be pretty similar.
You think that, or you think it should be?
It should be.
Okay.
So, I mean, the whole process of it, your arm should be doing kind of pretty close to the same thing
As everybody else. Who's hitting.
Is with, baseball, it's you're just like fine tuning what they're bringing to the table. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I don't see it, like I see it the other way as, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I feel like in watching it, it's so much not taking away what they do that's natural to them, but but then making sure they do the certain aspects of it. Cause like, I feel like when you're watching girls hit, I can't tell a lot of difference in watch, like kind of what you said, like watching somebody hit a volleyball, but in pitching.
Oh yeah. You can see so many, that's what I'm saying. It's so different.
Yeah. That I feel
but
like
it's all about speed and power.
Yeah.
And
that
all
you
that.
have to leave a lot of it alone, and know what you leave alone and know what you change to me would be like very overwhelming.
Yeah.
As, I mean, obviously if you're knowledgeable, it wouldn't
if
be,
if you're a pitcher, like for me, after like serving 100 balls and then something starts to hurt, so then you have to change how you serve. Like how do you do that with pitching? It's like, oh, you know what, that's gonna hurt, so now I'm gonna like incorporate and start throwing a different way.
Underhand.
Yeah.
Well,
do people do that? You know, like something starts to hurt a little bit, so then they kind of change up their mechanics.
Oh yeah, like I've been there myself. Like, you know, it's almost like a subconscious thing. You know, like if you're used to reaching really far back when you throw, but then your shoulder starts hurting
So now
when
you're
you
like,
reach back, and now you short arm it, and because it hurts to reach back, you know, and then you start doing stuff wrong, and that's kind of the hard part about pitching too, is because a lot of guys are pretty, I want to say, ambitious. Like they don't like taking time off. They don't like being hurt. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's almost like sometimes like as a coach, you kind of have to realize like, all right, something's not right here. Like, and then you got to go like, be like, I think you need to take a break.
Is that why, like, do you guys, I feel as so within saying that, you guys should be stretching for at least an hour a day.
I mean, an hour is long, but we definitely like, that's
Like
kind of
before
one of
and
the,
after and all the things.
yeah, like that's like my whole thing as a coach is that obviously as a player, I was hurt. And so, you know, I was never able to really go out there and play, and it's the worst feeling, you know? So like I wanted to put a lot of focus on keeping guys healthy also, you know, along with getting them better, you know, and I think that's kind of the process. Like it's starting to show because like I said, like we've had a lot of guys stay healthy. And I think it's just like, we'll, you know, stretch like normal before practice, but we've kind of changed and we've started doing a lot more mobility and recovery after practice and after workouts and stuff. I think that's helped maintain health for the most part.
Wow. Like, have you ever seen the stride on a pitcher?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I didn't even
slow it down. It's disturbing.
I never
With
realized
their elbows and all of it.
It's very
in their face.
Yeah. Did you play any other positions before you really got set into pitching?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, up until obviously I was done playing, I was a two-way. So like I pitched and then I kind of bounced around. Like when I first got here as a freshman, I was a third baseman.
Okay.
But then I threw my arm out and I kind of realized I was like, you can't do both at the college level. So I then went to first base while my arm was recovering because I couldn't throw. And all I did was, you know, you just need to catch the ball at first base. So it was pretty easy. But then last year I finally got healthy again. And I moved to corner outfield kind of to be able to like, all right, well, I can throw, but I don't have to throw. You know, it's more just like get the ball to the cut, stuff like that, play it smart. But I was always just more, you know, I could just hit, you know, so like I could hit. So they just found a place for me. And then obviously I got hurt again, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, and that's one of the things, you know, I feel like, you know, that's important here too, being like, we only run, you know, a 2-coach system right now. So I feel like a part of my job also kind of extends onto the hitters and making sure, you know, they're kind of staying locked in and stuff too. And I think that's kind of what, you know, made this work too, is that being a two-way here, I can kind of understand both sides of the ball and help out everybody on the team, not just the pitchers.
Right. Mm-hmm. It is interesting that you have 40 players and only 2 coaches, and Kobza has 18 coaches. And how many players do you have exactly?
18.
Okay.
One per player.
So
It's hard. Girls are tough. Boys.
No, and I'm not saying you don't need it.
No,
I
I'm
just
kidding.
feel
Yeah,
like,
no, for
holy
real.
smokes, with 40 guys.
Yeah.
When you're out there, I don't even know how do you
babysit all of them?
Yeah.
How do you make
Yeah.
sure the ones on the sideline are like keeping their cool?
And how often do you actually even practice together? Because you obviously have like
Never.
Every day. Oh, both
To get-
teams, like
yeah.
hitters and pitchers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some pitchers don't
Usually-
even know. The other players are like, I don't know who that is.
Usually once a week. Usually we'll do like team defense once a week in the fall, sometimes twice if we're bad. And that's when we'll get everybody together and just run through whole team scenarios.
Wow. Yeah.
No.
So-
I think if you had to make a practice plan for 48 people,
that's all I'm saying.
there's no way.
And there's 2 guys.
Yeah,
It's like
I start to lose it when I have 16.
Yeah. I would be like,
I don't like standing around.
no.
Everyone needs to be.
You're going to be pulling Avery up soon. Avery's going to be the next assistant.
Well, we're
Avery
trying to
Olsen.
get a third one. There's been talks about getting
I
like
would
a hitting
think so.
coach.
Yes.
Personally, I don't want to like let me be with the pitchers, you know, because like I would have a hard time having another coach try to have input with the pitchers when it's kind of like, that's like the little diva, I guess, where it's like, hey, let me do my thing, you know?
Yeah.
But
I couldn't see that at all within you.
having another hitting coach would be definitely nice.
What's been the hardest thing being a coach? Besides dealing with people?
Sleep, probably.
Oh.
I mean, just kind of understanding that, like, you know, you finally understand that adulthood, it's like, you don't.
It's real life.
Yeah, you don't sleep. Like, and I mean, maybe I'm being a little dramatic, but like, we got to work you know, a week on, week off system where like we'll stay up. We got to work till 1, 2 a.m. in the dorms.
This is not with coaching, with his other job.
Oh yeah. Well, sorry, just with everything.
But
but still,
I was even with coaching. I was sitting there thinking that you don't ever shut it off. Like you're always thinking about the game. Maybe you're not there yet.
I think that's the one thing I didn't realize about being, coach. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's like you're really always. You're always a coach. Like that's the one thing about coaching is like, even when you go out in public and so you still have to like hold yourself like a coach because you know people are watching.
Yeah.
And even on top of that is like, not gonna lie, like sometimes it's like, all right, it's a Sunday at 2 p.m. and I'm just trying to chill. And then I got players that are like, oh, can you come let me in the event center? Okay. And again, like, sometimes I don't see the text because I'm kind of like, turn my phone off, I'm chilling. But like, if I see it, I'm like, I'll go open it for them. I want them to get better. But it's also kind of like,
seriously,
I got to get up and
he made a very valid point. Like you're always a coach. We had a girls' night, not in McCook specifically for this purpose. For me, I try to hold myself like up here. So if I'm going to have a good time, maybe not here. I ran into 2 sets of past parents.
No.
What are the chances? Which is fine. They're really cool. But still, I'm like, hi.
But I think that goes to show, like, you can't hold somebody to, as a Catholic school librarian, wherever you go, you feel like you have to have that umbrella on. And it's like,
you're always Mrs. Coble.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'm going to drop some effers and I'm going to, maybe have 3 empty glasses of wine at the table. And that's me in one moment in a small blip of the radar. It's not like who I am as a whole. And I don't think we give enough grace to people to allow them just to have a moment. It's just,
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I feel like everybody puts a perception on like what a coach is supposed to be, but it's kind of like, look, no matter what I do on the field, when I'm off the field, like, I'm still going to live my life. You know what I'm saying? Like if I want to go to the bar for a night, not to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like I have a right to do that.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with like, I'm going to talk to my players the way I want to talk to my players. You know, like I'm going to swear in front of my players. That's just how we talk. And I feel like, honestly, like some guys, I feel like some coaches get too like, all right, I can't get close to I just have to be their coach. But I feel like that's what takes it to another level is when you actually can balance both.
Know who they are.
Yeah.
Coach Malone. I'm going to start calling you that. Is that what everyone calls you?
It's 50-50. A lot of guys still just call me Malone. Like I told them, I was like, you can either call me Coach Malone or Malone, but not the first name.
That's good. Thank you.
Were you coaching at his age?
How old are you?
21.
I was coaching my first year out of college, so 22.
Kudos to both of you. I can't imagine.
I was a high school head coach. And then that's when I realized parents are very scary.
Yeah. I really can't imagine putting that umbrella on at that age. What I was doing at 21 wasn't probably appropriate. I'm being honest. Like, I don't think I would have been like, people would have been like, she's just a great person. No.
Well, I'm not perfect. I'm still learning, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like it's kind of fun. Like, that's why like people are nervous, they're like, oh, like these players have seen you on another side, like as another player. But I feel like that was the interesting dynamic is it almost made them respect me more because they trusted me and they kind of knew like who I was and like what I was about, so like it almost made them portray that onto the freshmen and be like, yeah, you can trust this guy. Like he's going to steer you the right way.
Yeah.
And it's kind of worked out. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. I think one of my things also with Ryan and just younger coaches, myself having had some younger assistants is the fact people, if you've been in it, like you have to help them grow.
Oh, 100%.
As well. So for me, bringing Ryan back, I'm like, if he wants to coach, help them become a coach.
100%.
If they make a mistake, great. And I think Olson does a great job letting his assistant coaches do their own thing. I think he probably gives you a few tidbits here and there, but otherwise, like for me, I try to it's really hard for me to delegate because it's not specifically where I can say, Evie, you take these hitter or whatever. It's not that we have to do everything together. but I try to give them as many tasks as possible to do by themselves, and they get to make that choice and how they do it. And I think Olsen does a fabulous job with his assistants.
Right.
If Brian makes a mistake, somebody's got to be there. We're like, hey, we don't do it like that. Just a little heads up.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Oh my! The opportunity to let people fail, I think, is something that we as a collective whole are not willing to do anymore.
No, and that's like one of my things with assistant coaches. If they want to be a coach, because they're pretty hard to find nowadays, figure out how to help them to make them be a coach.
Yeah.
So
Let them make mistakes, bring them back up from it, or as yourself learn, because maybe you didn't give them the opportunity to avoid that situation to begin with.
That's right.
But my goodness, we're not letting people fail and giving them grace to know, like, this is a learning opportunity. Let's move forward. It's just like cancel culture. You're done, whatever. And it's like, wow, that's just not effective in my opinion, but whatever. Anyway.
Yep. What else, Ryan? What do you want to leave us with?
Honestly, I'm just great. I was really happy to like come back, because I didn't really know, obviously, what the
He's
future.
talking about the podcast.
Oh, the podcast.
We want him to come back to the podcast. That's exactly what he was talking
I guess
about.
that's what I was talking
Yes.
about.
Gosh,
yeah.
my heart is just so full. He is so grateful to come back here.
I felt it.
I did too. I'm like,
Yes.
oh gosh.
And also, I mean, you probably want to talk about coming back to McCook.
Yeah,
too, not
okay,
as
sorry.
So go ahead. Yeah.
But that's not where you're going?
No, I mean, as a whole, yeah, sure. I think people know I'm a talker, so I'm not afraid to come on here and talk. But no, I do think that, like, I didn't expect to come back. Like, I thought I was like, all right, I'm done with this place. Not like in that way, but like I was I'm out of here. But that's kind of like, I'm a big proponent of like everything happens for a reason, and whether you take it into like a religious way or not, like it's just everything happens for a reason, and I think looking back on it, I was always really frustrated as a player, because I was like, I work so hard, I'm doing everything I can, and I still am hurt. Like, I can't get healthy. And even now, like, I still train on my own, and yet like my arm is like shot, so it's kind of understanding that, like, I feel like if I hadn't have been hurt and standing on the sidelines and getting a perspective of like understanding, for one, like recovery and stuff like that, because I had to go through it, but also like, here's a perspective of this is what it looks like from the sideline, and having 3 years of staying on the sideline and like being next to my old pitching coaches and seeing it for that perspective, like I wouldn't be where I am right now, because I would be off playing, I'd be off doing my thing. But I'm happy to be here, whether it's not always perfect. Again, I think it happened for a reason, and it was always a joke too. I mean, they'd always be like, oh, in 5 years, Malone's going to be back here coaching, it just happened a little sooner than I thought. So. And
so I guess backstory, if nobody remembers with Ryan never really got to play in McCook because he was always hurt. And I think I poked fun at him the last time he was on here, just the transformation that Ryan went through as a freshman to when he finished, just night and day difference. And even though he was always hurt, he was always in the weight room. I don't think I spoke to you for like the first year that you were a student here.
No.
I just always remember seeing him in the weight room, and he was just, there's something about the baseball players that just work hard, and you see them every single day. I'm like, God, this kid's always in the weight room.
Well, I think there's a lot to be said about somebody who, in the darkest time for them, instead of wallowing in it, that becomes a part of your story and what you're meant to share. I mean, like the injury and being there for people as a different side of coaching, because you were on the other end of it. It was like what you said, everything was meant to be and happen for a reason, because it makes you so much more authentic to your players because you've been on that side. And that's huge. And so many people, when they have that heartbreak, they fall and they just wallow in it, and they don't use it to be a part of their story to build other people up. And that's exactly the opportunity you get to have.
I definitely was. I think my first 2 years here, I was definitely that guy. Like, I was
understandably
like,
so, though. Yeah.
Like, I look back and I was like, I wouldn't like that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always down and like kind of bratty, and I did. Like, I think my sophomore year was probably the worst, because like I thought I was going to come back.
Peels and things.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was going to come back healthy that year, and I got hurt again, and I was like, oh crap. And then I really got down. But then my third year, I had one incident happen. Like, there was a singular incident that happened in the fall, and that happened. And then ever since then, it was like, it just clicked for me, and it just changed everything. So
I think everybody has has a right to wallow in things for a while.
Sure.
Like, that's 100% a part of like humanity, but then coming out of it is the key. So that's huge. It's awesome, man. You kind of did it with like bringing him back. I got to give you some kudos.
Oh, it was Olsen too.
No, I mean back to the podcast.
Oh, back to the podcast.
We come back to my cook, whatever.
How did we even, I'm just like thinking back. How did you start working for me?
community service. That's how you get.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Was it?
Definitely was.
I very well could have been.
I feel like I remember that from the first round.
I know
Yeah.
when they told me with this job that I get to, pick students to display or
they get assigned. They get assigned to you.
yeah. Well, no, because with my job now, I get to pick students that help display McCook Community College and give tours to students. And it was like second chance you for a little bit. I feel like I was like, this is a great kid. Ryan never messed up.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't how did you, I don't know.
Yeah,
he did really well though.
It was definitely that. Like, not that, the people that are going to hear this are going to hear this, but I mean, yeah, I screwed up quite.
And everyone's like, you need to go talk to Kobza. Yeah. Am I that? I think I'm that person on campus. If anybody has any issues, they come and talk to Kobza, and then you need, how many, I don't know. Was that how it started?
Yeah, it was definitely, because I remember, I don't know if I can, I mean, I did like 3 hours of it, and then you were like, just make this.
What I have you do?
Probably stuff Easter eggs. I swear to the heavens, you had to be in on that.
I mean, I did that last year once, but I think it was, I don't even remember. It just happened. Yeah. I think I wanted a job. Oh, that's what happened. Remember, I wanted to be in the weight room, and you were like, no, you can't do that. And I was kind of like, well, what the heck? And then you're like, oh, just work.
You can have this other
do the
job.
Student ambassador thing. Yeah. And honestly, that probably helps too, because me giving kids tours and everything like that makes recruiting so easy, because I just know everything.
Yeah, he knows everything. And he likes the history too about the college too, which is kind of fun. But yeah, so having watched that, the injuries, thought he was going to play last year, that was rough.
Definitely a roller coaster.
Definitely.
But,
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Anyways, you're reading or watching anything?
I mean, I've been watching on Netflix this show. It's called Rhythm and Flow. You probably don't.
I feel as if I watched this. Is this the rapping one?
It was the rapping one.
Yes. Okay.
But see, I was a junior in high school when the first season of it came out. So it was like 6 years ago, and I loved it. And then right after, season 2's coming out, and I literally waited 5 years, and season 2 came out, and I was never been so excited. So I was watching that. Yeah. I also restarted Friends. Came on Max, and I guess I was like, yeah.
Do you watch The Office?
I have, but not for a couple of years.
Okay.
So.
Just out of curiosity. What about Schitt's Creek?
I have never watched that before.
Okay. This is awkward. No air fives.
Oh, sorry.
No air fives. What about you? No, let's not, because we don't know what we're doing at this time of our life.
What were we
reading and watching?
Oh, okay.
No.
Guess not.
Do you? The end of January?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm probably just so focused on my resolutions that that's all it's about.
We'll talk about those in February.
Yes.
Yes.
See how we're doing then.
That's
See
a good
if you
idea.
burnt down the cold plunge tank. Buried it.
Froze it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you thankful for in this moment?
Oh, there we go.
Honestly, a lot of people. I mean, your family has to be one, because they, supported me to go do it too. Like, obviously, they could have been the people that are like, oh, you got to keep going to school and stuff like that. But it was kind of like, I'm going to make money and do something I want to do. I feel like, honestly, J.O., super, I feel like giving me the shot to prove myself, because a lot of times that's the hardest part, is getting the shot. You know what I'm saying? I could have wanted to be a coach, but what am I going to do, to go interview for jobs, being able to have a place where they knew me already, kind of make it a lot easier, and then trusting me that I could do it, because it's not like he could have been breathing over my shoulder for everything, but he's kind of just trusted me and been like, all right, go do what you need to do. And it's worked out. So I would say I'm pretty thankful for him as well. So
Awesome. Yeah. What other questions? I feel we're missing a question. What's your caffeine of choice?
Yeah.
My caffeine of choice? Oh, no.
Let's go 1, 2, and 3.
Well, I'm a big energy drink guy. Just again, I'm always tired. So it's probably not healthy. I probably hammer it a little more than I should, but I would say top 3, Bucked Up is my favorite energy drink. They actually don't have it here, which kind of makes me mad. That's another thing. Hey, Casey's put some Bucked Up in your,
I know a guy.
Yeah. Nick.
Yeah.
Nick.
Tell Nick.
I'll tell Nick.
Well, Bucked Up is my favorite. I
don't like the name of that, but carry on.
I would say number 2, honestly, Jolt and Joe's Revivers are amazing. I love those.
Shout
and
out
then
Hayley.
Ghost. I would say.
Yeah.
The Ghost brand.
Have you had Ghost protein?
I haven't. I don't.
They look
Do that
as if
stuff.
they have the best protein flavors.
I mean, that's the problem. I don't want flavor because flavor is just added sugar. And so, the whole point about protein is like, you want the
healthy.
protein, so, but I'm kind of anal about that stuff too, a little, but I would say those are probably the top 3.
What's your favorite Reviver at Jolton Joe's?
Well, I'm kind of on so I do not like doing the same thing over and over every day. Like I like to try something new. Like even with like Ghost like energy drinks, like I'll get a different flavor every day.
I can't do that, but wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So I go to Joel & Joe's and I'll just combine. I'm kind of I'm just trying to combine like all the flavors. So I'll just be like,
You gotta be really laid back to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like you gotta go with because anybody else is being like, you mess this up. What I'm getting, I want the same thing today as I had yesterday, as I will have tomorrow.
Me
too.
My Monsters, my Alani's, I like the same flavors.
So he's pulling up and he's going, just whatever you want to do today.
Shonda, you
Pretty
pick.
much.
Just try. Like seriously, there's people like that. I know.
Wow. Good for you.
Well, sometimes like I had a really good one a couple days ago. That was one of their Christmas flavors. I can't remember which one.
You don't even know what you don't know. Like
I don't even know, but it was really good.
Yeah.
So,
no, I mean, you don't know what you like until you try something new. So that's
exactly.
I gotta live more like that.
I don't know about that.
Who are you thankful for?
I'm going to be thankful for Marcy Henry and Mary Young, NJCAA people that have put me in some really cool positions.
Yeah.
And here, later this week, I'll be headed to the first National Junior College Cheerleading competition. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm going to say my kids. I know I've said them individually, but I'm not an easy mom. Like I set the bar and I feel bad for them sometimes because I don't get a lot of downtime and they don't get a lot of.
I can't wait till Aunt Hayley gets them a phone so they can call me when they're
18.
when things happen.
They can call when you're
Cute sweatshirt.
18. Fresh out of the bag.
We never asked him about this song.
Oh, sweet
we're just gonna leave it. We're just gonna leave it for
why this song?
Yeah.
What girl broke your heart to this song?
It wasn't even like
It's deep.
Well, I can tell
happened
you,
to this
like,
song?
I got, those like Spotify rap things.
Yes.
Like, I don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
Spotify, but the app that I did have, they're like 93% of your music was hip hop. Like, I'm a big rap guy, but every once in a while when I like to turn it, go away, I like some good R&B, soul stuff. Like, so I always just like this part,
come
like
in and just
little,
just took his heart away. And so did what's her name?
Yeah.
Just damaged it.
I'm gonna think about this every time.
it's just a good.
If this was your walk up song, this is what it would be.
I should have made it this.
You should.
This is
his favorite part.
This will be my coaching walk up song.
I'll make sure Olsen knows that.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for listening to another episode of Coaching Caffeine and Comedy. I'm your host Hayley Kobza,
and I'm Lena.
Thanks Ryan for coming.
Thank you.
I've been kissed by a rose on the grave. There is so much a man can tell me, so much he can say.